Thank you so much for being here. So grateful to have you guys here, the GameStation community, and explain your game, Original Gamer Life. Today we're joined by Daniel Saito, and we are also joined by Bott. Daniel Saito is the founder, and Bott is the lead developer. It'll be kind of great if you guys can kind of just introduce yourself to the whole community, let them know maybe like a really interesting fact about yourself that no one knows, or just something random.
Sure. Let me get started then first. So my name is Daniel. I'm CEO of OG Life and currently overseeing this project. And we wanted to present to GameStation to what we're working on and kind of give the unlidding of kind of what's up to coming in our future IDO that we're planning. Of course, given that the market conditions that are going on today, it's hard and difficult, and it's probably not advised to launch a project right now. But, at the same time, we want to let the gaming community know that what we're working on, and at least to have everyone be aware of our project. And so thank you for having us. So let me introduce myself. I'm Daniel, and I've developed games in the past, probably about 20 years ago. The game that I launched was a game called Choo Choo Rocket. It was on the Sega Dreamcast platform, and it was a console-based game back in November of 1999. Yes, that far. And basically, we actually launched it at Electronic Entertainment Expo back then, and it was a great hit. We actually had the Beastie Boys open up for us, and it was the first foray into network-based gaming. And we actually had to create a network specifically for online gaming, since back then in 1999, it was all dial-up, and it was all modems and all that screeching dial tones and whatnot. And people were connected online. And if you probably owned a Dreamcast back then, you've noticed the little side module that you can actually interchange. It was either an Ethernet connection or a modem connection. And we actually created a back-end network called Sega.net, so we would have low latency gaming on a console. With that, our first flagship title was Choo Choo Rocket. It was a cat and mouse chase game. You can actually YouTube it. It's pretty crazy, but it was a high speed cat and mouse chase game like Pac-Man, and we actually probably sold about 3 million units around that, and it was actually considered the first network game on a console before Xbox or PlayStation actually became network aware in that sense. And so we always wanted to be first, and if we do something, we wanted to be first in that sense. And so that was my foray into gaming. I've done other mobile games. I've licensed the title Walking Dead, and created a strategy-based type shooter game on mobile. So that was interesting. Broke even, making games on mobile is hard and whatnot, but broke even, paid my licensing fees and whatnot, yada, yada. Here we are. So let me also kick it off to Mr. Bott, and how he's our lead game developer, as he has also released some great titles. Carlos, the floor is yours.
Yes. Hello, my name is Carlos Bott. I'm the lead developer of Original Gamer Life. I have a long history in both mobile games and AAA games. I'm currently the deputy group leader of computer games production at De Montfort University, working on my PhD in artificial intelligence with the area of game economics. I've been involved in release titles such as Major League Baseball's At Bat app, the big title with MLB Rally, which was a gaming app, and titles for the Dubai government, a camel racing game. Of course, the big one was a failed title called Babylon 5, Starship Commander. Sierra Online closed right before we were ready to release it. So, I've always been a space gamer, and that kind of falls into what Original Gamer Life is. We're playing on the nostalgia of the 1990s, the great video games like Wing Commander, Elite, and so on, that people just loved to play. They loved that type of environment. They love the they love to play these type of games, and we decided we're going to have an open world game, kind of Bates in space, but we're going to have a twist. It's going to be space and time. So, if you want to go back to year 2020 in London, you can. So we're going to have space and time. It's going to bring in all the people that love Babylon 5 and Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and all the great science fiction from the 90s and the 80s and 90s. And one thing that Original Gamer Life is going to do that I've seen in other metaverse games is, we're going to put the game first. The game comes first. I'm a game developer first and a crypto developer second. So the game always has to be the most important thing, the gameplay. It has to be engaging. It has to be player driven, and it has to keep the player in the game and keep the player excited about the game. And that's going to be our story. That's going to be, it's similar to a AAA game release on Steam or an Epic Games. The players will come for the game, and they'll be able to earn where they play, which is a big thing. Because a lot of the other crypto, the metaverse games were just poorly skinned attempts at, selling cryptocurrency. It's like, no, we want the game first. We want to be engaging. We want it to be fun. And we want it to have longevity.
Now, Carlos has worked really in details, and he was really particular of not using a lot of blueprints and going and doing the cheating model. He actually goes straight to C++ and wanted him hard-coded in and optimized performance and whatnot too. So he's a stickler for the details in that sense. So thank you, Carlos, for that.
We look for, it's basically this. We can do a very quick game. Unreal 5 is beautiful, a great engine, but if we want a game that's going to work, it's not going to crash, it's going to be secure, that's very important in this environment. In most environments, we can release a game, an early access game full of bugs, and the database will get wiped every 2 or 3 months or every month. And, well, we can't do this in this game, because this game, from day one, the players will be able to earn real, we have two currencies. One is Titans, which will be our in-game currency, and our other one will be the OGL cryptocurrency, and players will be able to earn both in game. So the game has to be, number one secure from day one, and there cannot be a server wipe. Players will not be too happy if they lose all their in-game stuff if there's a game update. So it has to be rock solid from day one.
So let's kind of review that model. So there's a Titan in-game token, which is an in-game, as you normally buy tokens in regards to a game, inside a game. And that's used to score. And then there'll be a conversion for a number of Titans to OGL tokens, and there'll be a conversion method that will be later incorporated as a token economics for within the game. But whether if you mine asteroids to, whether if it's, if you're in the laser tag room and you defeat your opponents, you can earn Titans, and that Titans can then be transferred into OGL, and that's how we do the currency. And so that's kind of where we introduced that idea. Carlos, please continue.
Yeah, and not only just defeating opponents, we're a strong believer in the mini games. I remember a few years ago, a company called PopCap, they released, they releasing a game a week, all these short little games, which people were engaged in. We're going to give the players an option to play, classic games like pinball, license allowable, things like Pac-Man, air hockey, Tron, all the cool games from the 80s and 90s, Beer Run, there's a lot of great games that were released. And we're going to try to revive some of these dead titles and put them as arcade playable games in our game. And you can earn from pinball, you can earn from slots. We're going to have a casino for the over 21s where it's legal in, that jurisdiction they can play. And a lot of it you can earn by having company meetings, by meeting your friends, having a bowling league, having a, racing tournament. We're going to have like Mario type kart racing. We're not going to copy Mario Kart. We're going to have a kart racing game. We already have in our game, we have an asteroids type of game. We have a shooting gallery, you know, some very simple games just to show, you know, proof of concept that you can earn Titans and you can buy in-game items with your Titans and sell, you know, the in-game and trade your Titan for like better armor, better weapons, better, you know, faster cars and things like that.
Right. Okay. So there's many different ways for people to earn Titans and then trade them over. So there's just many options. Okay. A question I was going to ask, you mentioned how important the game is. The gameplay is so important that you focus more on the game first before crypto. How do you plan on getting traditional gamers that are just there for the game over to the blockchain?
Here's a good idea. I mean, Roblox is incredibly popular. Valorant is incredibly popular. Minecraft is incredibly popular. And they're buying, you know, the thing is you buy something in Roblox. It's always Roblox will own it forever. It's just a different way of doing things. Every game has loot crates. But the difference is our loot crates will have NFTs that the player will own forever. And be able to trade forever. It won't be like, okay, game server has been shut down. Sorry, you lose everything. There are some other games with some very big investments. For example, one is a Chris Roberts game I won't mention. And people are buying $40,000 worth of spaceships in that game. And if they decide to cease development, well, there goes your $40,000. In our game, if you buy a $42,000 worth of, you know, an NFT or in-game items, you can, that's real money and you keep that. You play to earn.
So,
and that's a huge difference.
Yeah, that is a huge difference. So you said they get to keep their NFTs for life. So no matter what happens, they'll always own the NFTs. Yeah,
they're always on the NFTs, and that involves wallets and, you know, things which are way over my head. I'm a game developer, so I'm going to let the Strong Node team handle all that stuff.
Right. So to add to that, so every game instance would have a user identification, and every user ID has a wallet connected to it, and then that allows you to have an in-game wallet, and you can collect Titans as in-game, and then if you collect enough Titans, you can transfer it over to OGL, and so we're working on the economics behind that, and so every game installation will do a wallet creation automatically with their user ID, and that's how you can see your progress in regards to it. But there's other incentives that we are actually incorporating as well in the game, and it's like health to wealth in that sense. So eventually, you know, our game currently will only support, right now it's on Windows, but it'll eventually be on Mac and then eventually on mobile. But what we want to actually do is use mobile phones as their game changers, because mobile phones, mostly everyone has one, and with that, it records your pedometer, for example, and, you know, we want to be able to track how many steps you do and be able to make sure that, you know, wellness is another key component within the whole aspect of gaming, because we want to encourage people not to sit in front of your computer 8 hours a day, get up, do some exercises. If you walk outside, do a few steps and maybe do some exercises and whatnot, and create some certain levels of, you know, of activity, we can then compensate it in Titans, and then that Titan points can be eventually exchanged into OGL tokens.
Yes, that's actually one of our big things is we'll have daily, weekly, monthly activities that a player can do. One is walking, say, 10,000 steps or whatever, you know, per day, and recording with your Fitbit or other, you know, mobile phone. You can record. It's going to be the honor system, but you can record, you know, I walked 10,000 steps today, record it in the game, and you get tokens out of this. And things like joining, you know, going on a diet plan, say you are lowering your blood pressure, or getting your COVID vaccines. You know, everything will be, you know, as part of the health and wellness part of it. Everything you could do externally will be applicable in game. That's something that no other game does. that I know of right now. And it's a great idea. It's not just sitting blowing up asteroids or sitting at a jump gate blowing things up. It's going to be, you're going to take your personal activities will affect your gameplay. If you're more healthy in the game, and that's going to be self-reported, your player in the game will be more healthy. They'll have more, energy for maybe person-to-person battles. And I'm going to call them battles, but you're never going to kill anybody in game. That's one thing we're against. We're going to have laser tag, and you're going to stun a person. You're never going to kill a person. You're never going to. None of we don't want any of the nastiness that's in a lot of online games, and they can get really nasty very quickly. It's a fun, family-friendly environment that everyone can enjoy and everyone can play.
Yeah, I think Rockstar pretty much handles that category pretty well. So we'll leave it to those guys to perfect that aspects of online violence or in-game violence. So we're fans of that, but that's something that we're not really interested in promoting. But with this, eventually, right now it's online reporting, but eventually we'll do integration with HealthKit in Apple, and so it can be reported via API. So you could share your pedometer information from your mobile phone or your watch in that sense, and be able to then record that and be able to get, how Step-In does it and whatnot. And that seems to be the rage right now. Wellness has been in our minds since day one, and we've been working at this for about a year. And it's good to see that.
And
with the games or
Another one big is knowledge. I'm a professor. I've been teaching my whole life and learning. And one of the things people are afraid of is they don't understand crypto and cryptocurrency and blockchain. And one of our things is we're going to have links to online classes. If they complete an online class, they get a skill book in knowledge. We're going to have a skill system, and they can skill up into knowledge, and they can earn tokens that way. So external knowledge, that's going to be very important as well.
Well, we believe in teaching financial literacy in that sense. And if anything, I believe that it's more necessary now than ever in order for everyone to, at least, gamers in general want to first learn, and play and have fun. But at the same time, if they can get healthy at the same time, plus also maybe learn a thing or two, that's something that we wanted to try. It hasn't really been experimented on or actually been executed. And this is something that we wanted to really give a shot and give it a try, and give at least an aspect of financial literacy. And we actually are working and talking with third-party talent in the sense that are also in line with our endeavors, where they also want to teach financial literacy as well as being healthy online as well. And so that's our first goal. The main reason why we're doing this is that we're looking at other metaverses, and we don't want to release another metaverse being just as a metaverse, because Decentraland or other projects, their problem currently is that they have low daily active users or monthly active users overall. And the thing is that, when they have those fashion shows or those pop-up events in these metaverses, the thing is that, they get a surge of usage, but after a while, they're gone. It's an empty desert, right? And so what we want is that we've created a certain underlying technologies like a mechanical Turk, so it gives you daily tasks, whether if it's go out and go walk X amount of steps, or go through this chapter of this and be able to learn something new and be able to increase your skill set that way. And with that, we wanted to at least be able to have that give and take. And of course, everything has a cost, and we'll have people and or organizations sponsor this financial literacy, for example. So whether if it's earn X token for this project, learn X of how that works. And so we can actually have this. It's a platform that it's kind of, we have our token as a main token, but we also are welcome with working with third-party tokens as well, because we don't assume that we control everything or the world revolves around us either.
Great. That's a great incentive. And I think it's good that you guys have kind of thought about the whole knowledge. I feel like with the whole crypto space, like you said, with gamers and stuff, sometimes they get very scared when they have to when you mentioned, oh, crypto, but with gamers, if they can learn how to easily get on the blockchain, understand how they create a wallet and just things like that, I think it will make all the difference. So it's good that you kind of incentivize that, and that health to wealth thing, definitely a good idea, because people always want to keep active, and getting rewarded to keep active is great. I think that's why it's worked so well with some of the other apps that are going right about now. So that's really cool. I was going to ask you guys, with some of the milestones that you guys have achieved so far, what has been the ones that you've been most excited about, and what kind of partnerships are you looking forward to?
Well, let's see. I mean, first, getting a great team like Carlos to head the project is a great milestone for that. I think building a good team and rapport around the team is key. And of course, coming up with the early alpha, you can currently sign up right now if you go to ogl.gg and get early access, by the way. And perhaps, Carlos, you can expand on that as well, with what keeps you excited.
Yeah, one of the things about early access is we want to do things right that other companies promised, other devs promised, and they never delivered. We want to actually make the player community part of our decision process. We're going to have votes on, what features do you want to see in the game first? For example, things like, do you want to see another outpost? Do you want to see kart racing? Do you want to see, what type of gameplay interests you? And we'll pivot our resources to try to get the game, that stuff in the game first. We're going to have early access rewards that we're working on the reward system right now. We're going to have, it's a closed source game, but it's going to be very open for development, for feedback, because we don't want feature creep. We don't want the game to be released in 2033. We want a game that's going to be fun to play and people will come back to constantly. And I think by offering early backers, or the ability to kind of steer the project in a way through votes and other things, you'll be able to name a station after you. You'll be able to, possibly, your character, you're going to have a character wall, which your character's avatar will go in a great hall, probably on our first station. We're finishing up our first station now, which will be a ground-based station, but the rest will be in space. We started the crypto integration. We're going to start with Titans first for testing, because if you lose some in-game Titans, those can be replaced. So through a good testing cycle, we're going to make sure there's no bugs and it's all secure, and then we'll move on to now we can trade your in-game Titan for OGL and other currencies, and go from there. So we're going to have a very strong quality cycle to make sure that, well, people hate losing things, and especially if it involves real money. So open development, responsive development, and fun gameplay.
Okay, so fun gameplay. You said it's family friendly for kind of any age, any kind of person. Would you compare your game to anything that's out there on the market already? But you said it's completely.
I think probably a little bit more adult or teenage version of Roblox, probably, where you have a lot of activities you could do in Roblox, where it's a fun thing. And later, as part of our, we're going for an epic mega grant. One of the things that we're going to do with any game tech that we develop that we can release as open source to help other teams, we're going to release it. For example, we do want, similar to Roblox, we want to have like a map editor where people can submit their own maps, or, that kind of things. We're going to have an arena. That's going to be central to our game. Originally, was going to be just a zero-space laser tag arena, similar to what you see in Ender's Game. But we decided, hey, possibly we can have, as long as it works with Unreal, we can have drop-in maps. You can have a CSGO type map. You can have a Valorant type map. You can have a, just the amount of things that we can do is endless. And so that's what we're going to be doing.
Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I realized.
Oh.
No, I was on mute. Okay, that's great then. So you guys have thought of a whole load of different things and different people that this could really appeal to. So it'll be kind of interesting to know where you are on your roadmap. Like, what date are you looking to launch? With your game, for example, the app and the game, how can people get involved? How can they just take part if they wanted to get involved? What would be the next steps they'll need to do?
Well, I recommend them to join our Telegram channel, first of all, and also visit ogl.gg. And we have a little button on the upper left-hand side where you could sign up for an early access. We can then, once we open it up to open communities, we'll actually tier our usage because we don't want to kill the servers because we actually have a fairly large waiting list of people actually kind of wanting to kind of play the game. So we want to kind of roll that out slowly and surely. And of course, with Carlos is working day and night on curating the daily builds of this game. So one thing that we want to do for further integration is that there is a user generation component where you will be registering your interest, and at that you put your two-factor authentication, all that stuff that's required usually for crypto or anything that you log in with the username and password. That then gives you access to the said game, and you can enter it, and you would connect automatically. The wallet would be connected to our dashboards and whatnot. And by doing so, you can then start playing and giving us user feedback, and because it's the community which actually helps drive product and features and functionality, what works, what doesn't. And of course, there'll be a lot of bug reports that will probably be generated, and we want to incentivize people to process and help us identify all the bugs before we actually go mainstream with this. And so this is still early, and making a game doesn't happen overnight, as Carlos kind of mentioned. And
some of the next things that are going in game, we have just a small prototype that was built over probably about a 4-month period. But other things which are going to the game next would be a character generator, and this will be the heart of your 3D NFT, where you get to I love games with character generators, where you get to, do your hair, do your clothing, do your eyes, do your nose, do your lips, do your legs, basically you get to design your character avatar in game. And it's going to be useful in game because you'll be able to see it in game. It's not going to be like, I remember Fallout 4, you spent an hour doing your character avatar, and then also your partner's character avatar, and it killed your partner off in the first 5 minutes of the gameplay. No, your game, your avatar will be seen and used in game, and it's going to be unique enough that that character avatar will be you. That will be an NFT for you.
Oh, that's very, very cool. Yeah. And I think like everyone likes the whole avatar and creating their own person, like, it makes it feel like more like you when you have the person kind of look like you dress them and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's nice you've taken that into consideration. You kind of took us to the whole NFT. So you guys have an NFT DHB Fight Club NFT connection. So can you explain to people how that's going to work, the utilities behind it?
So yeah, Die Hard Birdie or DHB is short for Die Hard Birdie. And Die Hard Birdie was kind of the inspiration of starting this project initially, as he's a 81-year-old gamer. He's a CSGO champion at the same time too. I played against him. He's really good actually. And I'm not a very good game player too, but overall, he's kind of the inspiration of the project that gaming has no bounds, whether if it's age, sex, or religion. In that sense, it's to have fun, and we found great benefit, or he has found great benefit in gaming, where it actually keeps his eye movement and being active and being able to keep his mind working. And as an 80-year-old. And my mother is like 83 now, or turning 83 this month. And so she plays games too, and it keeps her young. And we believe gaming keeps people young at heart and in mind as well. So this is the inspiration, and this aspects. Die Hard Birdie NFTs are currently being released, and the utility is that those will actually act as early entry and access into our OGL metaverse or universe, and they'll be treated as such inside the game, and that will actually have a feature unlock later. And but we don't want to spoil the fun later, but
No.
it is worth collecting in that sense.
And in the game later, we're planning on having clothing shops where you can actually, if we partner with real world, manufacturers, you can get these NFT shirts that you can wear on your character. Because you're not only going to be an armor in your spacesuit. Part of the game. Most of the time, you're going to be in civilian clothes, and you'll be walking around in, somewhat futuristic civilian clothes. And because that's one of the parts that's missing in most games. Okay, science fiction, everyone's walking around in battle armor. It's like, well, no, you're walking around normally in regular clothes, and when you do have a battle with another person, then you wear your armor. And that armor will be totally customizable as well. Different colors, different shades, different, similar to, say, CSGO skins or Roblox skins or the stuff they're selling on, Star Citizen. People love skins. People love customization. We're going to provide them.
Oh, wow. These NFTs sound really, really cool. Guys, I just realized, that a lot of people have their hands raised, and we'll also need to take the Twitter questions, and we also need to open up the chat. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up the chat so people can ask their questions. We'll also take people that have their hands raised, and we're also going to take Twitter questions. So guys, what we're going to do is we're going to open the chat for 1 minute.
Sure.
And you guys drop your questions in there, and then we have Daniel and Carlos here that will answer your questions and pick the questions they like. As you guys know, $100 is up for grabs, and also 2 whitelist spots to get involved. So yeah, guys, get involved. Drop your questions in the chat. Okay, so we've opened up the chat for questions, and we're also going to look at some Twitter questions. Should we go for the Twitter questions?
All right, sure. Let's go with the Twitter questions first. I'm tracking the questions coming in Telegram at the same time.
Perfect. And also we can take people that have their hands raised as well. So we can do a bit of mix and matching.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. The first Twitter question is from Gen Z Osman, and he has said, most blockchain game developers now tend to choose Ethereum, EOS, and Tron because they're popular networks. What chain network do the games on OGL platform support? Is it possible to provide a seamless experience for players?
So the in-game wallet that we're using is an ERC20 compliant wallet. So it will be able to work on Ethereum, it will work on Polygon, or BNB chain. So, and the address scheme is all the same in that sense. So right now we're slated to be releasing on Ethereum, of course, but of course we are also chain agnostic at the same time. We have actually built in the backend bridges. That's with the strong node side of things. We actually have bridges to go from one chain to another fairly quickly. And since we actually run all those nodes and whatnot, we control those RPC points. We can do that fairly seamlessly in that sense. And so with that in mind, we haven't really yet decided in regards to whether it's committed to ETH in that sense. But, Polygon looks really great in the sense that, the gas fees are really minimal in that sense. But with the recent ETH2 merge, of course, the cost of doing transactions is kind of cheaper, but it's still expensive. And I am aware of that. And of course, BNB is also great in that sense. Binance is a great community in that sense, and we're heavily speaking with the Binance community as well. So right now, first of all, we wanted to get our token to be audited, and the smart contract was audited by Certex, and it's perfect. And so we're ready to go. We're just finding the proper timing when market conditions resume. And it's just a matter of just releasing the token. And so the wallet structure, everything, it's ready to get good to go in that sense. And it's been audited by third party as well.
Oh, brilliant. So all good to go. So you said you were audited by Certex.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, perfect. I don't know if you can also see the messages inside the chat are coming through. So if there's any single questions that you guys like in the official GameStation chat, you can grab questions from there.
Okay, yeah, well, I want to take that first question that came through in regards to us working with other metaverses. Yes, one thing that I've noticed is that we don't feel that we wanted to create a metaverse just for the sake of a metaverse. We wanted to be the metaverse kind of aggregator in that sense. Just think of this as early Yahoo in 1998 in that sense. It's kind of the skipping point in the sense of to other sites, whether it's Decentraland or whether the other future up and coming metaverses in that sense. So the thing is that you'll see if you join our metaverse or our in-game, you'll see us promoting other metaverse titles, and you can enter that from our game as well. And so we wanted to be kind of the launch pad to other games and where other people can identify new upcoming titles in that sense. And we actually have a pretty detailed discovery page in that sense where people can find out about new up and coming projects at the same time. Of course, we're not only promoting them, but we want to introduce it because we don't feel that we should be the one and only site that has it all. If anything, there's some people might have a medieval experience and they might like the whole Lord of the Rings type of ambiance instead of the whole Star Trek theme type of the sci-fi scene. So the thing is that people can jump into other neighborhoods or metaverses in that sense, and so we're not solely determined to just only promote our market, so open to other gaming.
Oh, nice. So people can jump into different metaverse and then get different feels of different kind of worlds, basically.
Exactly.
Oh, that's very, very cool. I was going to say, whose question was that? Is it okay, any question you read from the chat, can we click a response to them so that way we can find the winners after? Do you know who?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was, I believe, the first question that came into the questions, and just streaming in really quickly. And the second question was whether if you had an audit. So if you scroll up fairly quickly.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the name of the person?
Hold on, I'm looking for that right now. 1 second.
Let me see if I can find them also.
Yeah. No, streaming on it, aren't they?
I found them. It's described. Okay, brilliant. Okay, brilliant. And described. Okay, lovely. So I've got that person. Do you also want to take people that have their hands up?
Sure. And I believe the other question that I answered was whether if you have third-party audits, and that was the second one that we had, and that was Certec. Is just to be fair, because we answered that.
Yeah, very true. Okay, yeah, I can see you answered that question. Perfect. And what we could do is we'll mix it with some people that have their hands up. So chlorophyll going to allow you to speak to Daniel and Carlos. Can you hear us?
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello guys, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, I would like to know what your priority for 6 months next.
So our priority is in the next 3 to 6 months. So Charles, you want to take that question?
Yeah. I can give you the game priorities. First game priority is fully integrate all the crypto technology into the game, which is ongoing. Second priority is to, we have a beautiful idea. If you've ever seen Interstellar or 2001, we have a great idea. We're going to move to a ringed space station because that's just more realistic. We're going to open it up. Right now, we have only one planet and one station. We're going to open it up to, potentially at least a second system where you can go exploring, adding things like in-game suites that you can rent for currency. You're basically an apartment on your space station. have an NFT gallery. That's very important. This is where we can display all our diehard birdie NFTs and any other in-game NFTs that we have that you can buy and you can display for the community. And of course, multiplayer. Multiplayer is there, but it's been turned off for now, just so we can get the demo out. But yeah, multiplayer is very, very important. First, it's going to be peer-to-peer multiplayer, where you can have fun battling your friends in a laser arena, and then it will be more, big server type of stuff, where similar to Star Citizen or EVE Online, that kind of server. Where you have, lots of players in one server shard. So those are our priorities. It's, let's just keep improving the game.
Second question, may I?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Do you have a sustainable economic model for your games platforms?
Right. So I believe you're talking about the token economics of how the token works inside the game and whatnot. So as we mentioned earlier, we have an in-game token, which is Titans, and that's based off your score. Whether if you play pinball or laser tag or asteroid mining in that sense, you can actually then earn Titans as points, because that is what you earn as in-game. And from there, that can then be transferred into OGL. And of course, there'll be a fluctuating economy, because of course, the price of OGL token will fluctuate as any other crypto project is. Therefore, it will fluctuate on a daily basis, and there'll be a marketplace where you can exchange certain amounts of Titans for OGL, and then that's how you can work around it. And so that's kind of how we're working on the crypto economy of it. And of course, there'll be a part eventually where in the game you could create your own. Let's say if you come up with clothes, you can actually sell the said clothes as a form of NFTs, as Mr. Bott has mentioned earlier, of wearing clothes that the community has created, and have that peer-to-peer type of community marketplace of being able to design skins in that sense and be able to trade them between each other. And that can either be done either through Titans or through OGL.
Brilliant.
Questions.
Thank you. Yeah, really good questions. I was going to say, should we take some more people that have their hands raised? I can see
Sure.
General X has had his hand raised for a long time. Hi, General X.
Hi, Kaffy.
Hey.
Can I be heard?
Yeah, we can hear you. You can ask your question too.
Okay, hey, Daniel. So yeah, I think OGL, from the sounds of it, is a really cool game, and one thing I love about it is the fact that it's metaverse based, because Web3 games and metaverse, the technology just sounds like it goes along, and it's really cool. So I want to know, concerning the metaverse base, most games these days talk about metaverse, but they don't talk about artificial reality and virtual reality, and if the metaverse is going to be compatible with that. But in my opinion, I think a metaverse needs to give us a surreal experience whereby artificial reality gadgets are compatible with the game. So I want to know if you have such already compatible with OGL, or if we're going to be seeing that in the near future.
Oh,
so
actually, I could probably go with the virtual reality stuff first. That's actually a plan after the mobile releases. That's actually always part of our plan, the VR, the AR and the VR portion of it. So, we're going to get the PC game done first, because PC is pretty much the easiest thing to lock down the technology, do a Mac build, probably a Linux build. Then we can move on to consoles and mobile, and then finally VR. Really, because we use Unreal, Unreal's great. It's all you need to do is tweak and change the settings and optimize it for the various, platforms you're gonna output to. So that's why we chose Unreal, because it's so great. Do a Mac build, fine. Do a VR build, a Quest or a Vive, no problem. It's just we want to lock down one thing first. We want to make a great PC game first, and then we kind of port it, do some slight changes, and port it to the various other devices like Android and iOS and VR.
But yeah, but keep in mind that when you do port with mobile, there is refactoring the code, and mainly because it's the polygon counts that can be shown in a mobile experience. It is different between what you can
Same
see
with VR.
and VR as well. So there's always those tweaks, and it's not like slicing bread where one slice can make it all. But I believe that one good thing about Unreal in that sense is that portability of that code. And so we can at least make sure that we can get all the platforms, major platforms at least initially. Mobile was mentioned last because of the said refactoring of the code to be able to fit it in such a handheld aspects. And of course, as Carlos has mentioned, being able to put it on a headset or an Oculus and that nature, it is hard because it is more surreal and whatnot, and the polygons do matter in that sense. And so, yeah, it's a matter of portability, and we will get there. It's just not the immediate release right now. Is let's get it on Windows first.
Perfect. Thanks for answering those questions, guys. Do you have time to answer another question? I know, obviously.
Let's do it.
Yeah, perfect. Where should we pick the person from? Should we Twitter, Telegram, text, voice chat?
I like this whole interactive voice. Let's see. Let's ask the community here that's currently engaged, and let's take a question from another voice.
Perfect. Oh, we've got quite a few with their hands up. Who was first? I think it was. Oh, I don't know who was first. Okay, I'm gonna go with. I feel like I saw Grams first. Hi, Grams. Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Ask your question too.
Okay, I'm a gamer from India. I want to know about OGL. Do you have plans to incorporate other languages through the game, or will it be only English? What of non-English speakers? How will they be able to enjoy the game?
Oh, I can probably answer that question. One thing, I'm a firm believer in using symbology, using, it's instead of having words that say exit, have international symbols for exit. That saves a lot of the, we call it localization problems. And we also will, we're not going to only be for the English market. We're going to, the Chinese market's a very big market. We're going to have Chinese localization. We're going to have major European language localization. So, and the way I'm developing the game is, our team we're keeping it open enough so that we can easily plug in other languages, language packs, for example. And we're going to, we're thinking of having the community. You want to earn NFTs, you want to earn extra tokens, do a localization for us. That was some of the things that we were talking about.
So yes,
it will be open.
If it's going to be other languages, right now, the default language is, of course, English, and eventually language is driven by community and it's needed by other languages and support. As Carlos mentioned, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, those multi-byte characters and those ways, we'll try to address those early as the predominant populations who speak those Asian languages. But of course, there's Latin America, there's other areas as well that that they would love to see translations. And, the idea is to create bounties for these. And if you translate a certain amount of text, and these are tasks. If you are proficient in other languages and you want to be able to be participant and be able to earn tokens in that sense, we want to be able to incentivize that in that sense. So it's based off of community demand for certain languages in that sense. So that's kind of how we're addressing that in that sense.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you so much.
Very good model. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for your question, Grant. Thank you. There's still a lot of people with their hands raised. Should we just pick one more person? I know we said that last, but should we just pick one more person?
Yep.
Okay, so the first person I see with their hands raised, I'm just going to pick whoever the first person is. Okay, I've seen Ivan first. Sorry, I saw Ivan first. So Ivan, you can ask your question to Daniel and Carlos.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we
we
can
can.
hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to know how important is community to you and how we can help you for development of the project.
Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
Yes. How important is the community to you and how can we help you for the development project?
That's a great question, Avern. So the community is really important, as we always found that community helps drive product. And if we don't want to build a product that no one wants to use, and for us, the community is kind of our touching stone in regards to what we should be building in that sense. And if you want to be an active participant, I highly recommend you guys to join our Telegram channel and also sign up as an early user or access to download and play and submit bugs. That's a great way to help from the community. So we're actually relying on the community to be our first guinea pigs in that sense. And, as our previous question, the community will also help drive translation of the said project to other languages. So the community is really key in our founding of this game in that sense. And so we do take it very seriously. And with that said, our community has grown. I believe we have like 15,000 folks or more in our Telegram. Our YouTube channel alone has well over millions of views. I think the last count was like 3 million views on a lot of our videos on OGL. We're constantly, so look us up on OGL or OG Life on YouTube, as our channel is just constantly growing in subscriber base, as well as the views. And with that said, we're also monetizing on that, so disclaimer on that. So we're actually just, the community is growing, and we're all constantly listening to our community. So if anything, we're trying to get more gamers, because I think that's where the next movement will be on this whole Web3 integration. As gamers, there's about 6 billion of you guys out there, and we've only tapped the top of the iceberg in regards to gamers that understand crypto. And we want to be able to change that. And in order to drive that, I think gamers want to first play a game, have fun, enjoy their experience, and then from there, they can learn maybe about crypto. I'm not saying, hey, buy the OGL token, but maybe earn your OGL token that way, and then they can play in that sense. So
Yeah.
Carlos, go ahead.
Yeah. One thing I think of is when places like Electronic Arts and others started loot crates, and people hated loot crates initially. Some people still hate loot crates. Well, I think some people believe, we want to make crypto not into a loot crate. We want to make it engaging and fun, that you're just playing the game, and it's just not just a big click here, buy now button. For me, this kind of ties into another question I've seen. I forgot who sent it. For me, it's all about the game. I would not be involved in this project if it was just, a make money fast type of project. I like gameplay. This is kind of the Babylon 5, Star Trek, space themed dream that I've always had to do a game like this. So for me, it's a game first. And for me, it's any way we can make crypto engaging to the player, so they want to be actively involved. We don't want to make, I'm buying crypto. No, I'm playing a game and I'm earning crypto, which is a huge difference.
Right. But also in a Web3 environment, community does matter. And yes, it's one of our pillars that we want to make sure that we have a good foothold in when launching our game. Hence, we're doing this AMA today to make sure you know about our project in that sense.
Exactly. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, I know there's so many more questions, but what we're going to do is we're going to drop your socials at the end of this AMA. So if you guys have any more questions, you can jump over to OGL's Telegram. You can stay tuned for their announcements. They've also got YouTube. You can definitely get in touch with someone in the team and just ask the rest of your questions, because I know there's so many questions. But I really appreciate you, Daniel and Carlos, for jumping on today and speaking to the GameStation community, letting them know how they can get involved, how they can test the game early, and what they have to do, because that is really, really exciting, and it's very useful for them to know. So I don't know if you guys have any final words for the community that you want to share about OGL before we end this
Right.
in.
So, right now the market conditions aren't right. To do a launch right now would be catastrophic probably for the token price and everything, and our investors wouldn't be too pleased with that too. So, when the timing is right, we hope to revisit GameStation, and perhaps GameStation puts this into consideration for us to launch on your platform. And at that point, when the time comes, we'll knock on doors and say, hey, we're ready to go. And so we've been certified, our Solidity contract's ready to go. We're currently engaging with exchanges right now, but we feel that we could probably negotiate lower prices given the market conditions and how people are mistrusting centralized exchanges in general. So we want to just kind of wait it out at the same time, but at the same time, when we feel that the market's correct, we want to properly launch this project, get the token out so we can get at least, for a Web3 project to actually exist, you do need some token economics in place, as well as a good game, of course. And Carlos has that covered in the gameplay to have always fun, and we want to have fun first, then really work with our communities to help grow that community, have that communication exchange, create a safe place for gamers to meet and mingle and discuss games and introduce new games as well. And with that said, we have another token, which is the strong node token, the SNE token, which will, if you have the OGL game installed, you can earn strong node tokens, as you will be providing an exit point for other gamers like yourselves to provide a secure communication channel, as we have implemented at a strong node level of VPN. And this VPN will allow point-to-point, allowing that accelerated gameplay in the sense of low latency gaming. And so that is something that not only are we just a metaverse or a game, it's actually also an infrastructure play. If you have OGL installed, you make a better experience for gamers and other gamers, so they can have faster, low latency gaming in that sense, and secure, because it's all encrypted. Carlos, you want to add to that?
Yeah, what I'll add is the game that we're developing will not just be a throwaway game. We do want this game to be, if it would be released on Steam, a Steam quality game or an Epic Store quality game, that it's, even without the crypto, it would be a good enough game to play and a good enough game to have, replayability, which is a big difference in a lot of the games, which is a big difference from a lot of games which are currently being called metaverse games.
Brilliant. So yeah, you're also going for longevity of the game, and also making sure the game's fun. Also, so yeah,
all about that.
All about the fun. Brilliant. Sorry,
we're also working on the business side to also be in alignment with the other business partners, as well as other legendary titles or person of interest. So we'll hopefully integrate that into our game as well, or as another world that people could visit in that sense. And we hope to make more great announcements around that. But before all that, please follow us on Telegram or visit us at ogl.gg, or subscribe on our YouTube channel to get more updates.
And I'll drop your socials after, and it'll be great to get you back on when the game, showing a bit of gameplay, showing a bit behind the scenes, how the game works and things like that, so people can understand the whole game behind it and seeing it actually in person. So that'll be really
cool. we'll once in a while come in.
We'll have a huge update probably around the end of the month or beginning, with a little bit of Titan tokenomics in the game and so on.
Yeah, so we'll probably provide a Twitch channel, and you guys can see the gameplay and whatnot. And for those that are interested in playing it, please go to ogl.gg and register for your interest.
Brilliant. Sounds great. So everyone knows what they've got to do. So it's brilliant. Thank you so much once again, guys, for being here. Really appreciate you, Daniel. Thank you, Carlos. Really appreciate you both being here today.
Thank you.
We have Bing on the chat also. So thank you guys for being here. GameStation community, thanks for tuning in. Anyone that has missed it, we will record and we'll post it in the chat so you guys can watch what you've missed. And yeah, it's been great speaking with you guys. Wishing you a great day.
Everyone.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you later.